Dear respected my parents, and my dear children. Yesterday, Jesse came up to me and kind of asked me to kind of do some departing words before I leave. At first, I heard Shiboko is going to give the speech, so I told Jesse to let Shiboko do it. But I prepared a little message about the theme of this year's VBS. So today is a very special day for us, especially with this church. It's a great way to end a summer. This summer was focused more on the church itself, with our Bali Paranal, with our Bali Convention, and then with the youth retreats. So we didn't focus much on the little kids, especially now. It's a great way to wrap off the summer, to have a VBS. And as Akshan said today in his sermon that there were 72 kids that came and participated in this year's VBS. That's probably the most I've ever seen anywhere. We're lucky to have parents who will respect our kids and bring our kids to these sort of events. So the theme of this conference was Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. And there were three things that I wanted to discuss on this topic. And the first thing is, God is telling us, Christ is telling us, be strong and of good nature. Of good courage. And it's not being only strong in school or in family, but what Christ's main point here is being strong in your faith. Being strong in your faith is what Christ is trying to put here. Because he's saying to be strong is because we will be tested in our lives. We will be tested in our lives because Christ was tested in the desert. That's why we remember the Great Lent. When Christ was in the desert, he was tested. So we too, as Christians, will be tested. But if we are not strong, we will fall to that temptation. And that's why Christ said, be strong and courage. The second point is, being strong and courage means not to be afraid. If we are afraid, then we will not be strong. If our parents are afraid, then we as children will be afraid. Because our parents are supposed to be the role models to us. And if our parents are afraid of something, then we too, as their children, will be afraid of that same situation. And the story I want to share to this about being afraid is Peter. When Peter went fishing and saw Christ on the sea, what did Peter say? It's a ghost. This is a ghost. Christ said, no, it is I, your God. Peter then said, if it is you, God, tell me to walk on water. So God said, come to me, Peter. Peter walked on water, and then what happened? A wave came, and he got afraid. He got afraid, and he sunk. And when he sank, he said, God, help me. If we are afraid, if we lose sight in the prize, then we, like Peter, will fall. And that's one thing that Christ is saying. We need to be strong. We need to be strong in our faith. And finally, the last point of this is, the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. God was with Peter when Peter was sinking. God was with Christ. His Father was with Christ in the desert. So we too, God is going to be with us wherever we go. Every temptation we go through, God will be there for us. But it is us that are supposed to be afraid. If we are afraid, we will fall. But if we have courage and faith, then Christ will get us out of any trouble, any problems that we have. Once again, it's a great time, great opportunity to have a VBS on this humid summer day. It's a great way to end the summer, and I really encourage the kids and the parents to keep supporting our kids throughout this year, especially the youth. Please come to the youth activities, and for the little kids, this is the start. This is the start of the church. This is the start of your life. If you don't know what the church is, then you know what? We're not going to survive. So we as kids need to understand what the church is about. May God bless you, and have a great time. Thank you.